5 designer bag brands that I don't yet own, but I'm interested in. Hello, welcome back to Classics with a Quirk, where I talk about contemporary and luxury designer items and brands with a touch of silliness. If this is the kind of content you find interesting, please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. This tag video was started by Lisa from Lux and Life in the Middle, and I was tagged by my good friend Caleb Snell. I will link both of their videos down in the description box below, so feel free to check those out as well. And the tag is pretty simple. It's just 5 designer brands that you don't own anything from, don't own any bags from, and then some bags that you're interested in from those brands. We have a guest. Hi, baby. Hello. I'll put more laptop footage at the end of this video so you can just skip to the end if you want to just see the kitty cat. Back to the tag, I will say that this actually took me a little bit more time to think about than I kind of originally expected to, because I have a very well-rounded collection and I'm happy with my collection. And generally, if I want something from a brand, I buy that thing, you know, I have pieces from brands that I really like and admire. So there aren't a lot of brands that I haven't dipped my toe into yet that I'm still interested in doing so. In fact, I have another tag video that I'm going to be coming out with after this one about 5 designer items and brands and bags that I'm not interested in. And that was a lot easier for me to think of. I could think of quite a few brands that I'm not interested in getting anything from, as opposed to 5 brands that I don't yet own, but that I want things from, or that I could see myself getting things from in the future. I know this is a kind of long introduction, so I'm gonna get to the point now, which is all these items on my list aren't wish list items. They're items that I'm interested in, that I've been interested in for a while, but I haven't bought them and I might never buy them. And there are some items on this list that I have alternatives to in brands I already own. So the fact that I had to come up with a list of things that I don't yet own was a little bit tricky for me. And I'm gonna get into the meat of the video now because that took way too long. Now, starting off my list, I'm gonna just get this over with first, which is the brand Hermes. Now, I do own some things from Hermes, but I don't own any bags from Hermes, so I'm gonna just count that because I don't own any bags from Hermes. And I will say that I had originally, if I was thinking of a quota bag, because we all think about quota bags, if I've been thinking of one, originally it was the Kelly, because I like the top handle style, I like that it came with a shoulder strap, and I like the silhouette of it. I was particularly interested in a Kelly in the retourné style in the 28 size. In fact, I just recently visited my friend Caleb, who tagged me in this video, and he has a Kelly 35, and I got to try it on and see the Kelly in person, and that was really cool. But it made me realize that, especially with the way to open the Kelly, I would never get my things out. It would have been too fiddly. And also, now that I have my Delvaux, which I carry almost exclusively top handle, I realized that a Birkin might be a better bag for me. Now, I am not saying that I'm going to get a Birkin or even that I plan to get a Birkin, because I don't really. I'm not interested in starting an Hermes journey at this time. That might change, but right now I'm not. And I'm not really interested in getting one off the pre-loved market because a Birkin has never been a wish list bag for me, and honestly, neither has a Kelly. I think that Hermes is a wonderful house with obviously rich history and heritage, but there are other brands and bags that I like more than the Kelly and the Birkin. I think that there are other brands and styles that work better for me than the Kelly and the Birkin. Like, for instance, my Delvaux bag, which has a very similar silhouette to the Kelly. I just recently did a video, also with Caleb, about comparing my Delvaux to his Hermes Kelly. I'll link that video for you. It's a fun one, and it's very informative, I personally feel. But the Delvaux is so much easier to get in and out of than the Kelly is. And so for like convenience sake, it's a more useful bag to me. And I think it's just as beautiful. So I have a bag that works for the Kelly in that space. And in terms of a Birkin, they're beautiful bags, and I've certainly grown to appreciate the Birkin bag more. But it's a tote. It's a leather tote. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're not like beautiful bags. I'm certainly not saying that. And if I was given the opportunity to purchase a Birkin from the boutique, you know, for actual retail, I don't know. I would have to think hard on it, actually. I don't know if I'd immediately leap towards it, but I wouldn't say like, no, I don't want one. It would be something that I would have to think about. And I'm not ready to put myself into a position to have to think about it, which means that I'm not starting a journey and then I'm not looking at one preloved besides like just looking at pretty pictures on the internet. You know, I enjoy looking at pretty pictures on the internet. So this is, maybe I'm not doing this tag right, but I think that if I was going to pick a bag from Hermes, if it was a quota bag, it would be the Birkin. I am really interested in the Mini Lindy too, but the thing is that the Mini Lindy is a purely crossbody bag, and I have a hard time with pure crossbody bags nowadays just because it hurts my back and my shoulders. So I like crossbody bags and it's a good size, but another bag on my list is kind of in the same Mini Lindy category. So I don't know. I think that the Mini Lindy is very cute. I think it looks kind of like a little dragon, like Toothless, you know, especially in the black, which is not the color I would want, but that's the thing I think about when I look at the Mini Lindy or the bigger Lindies. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested in luxury bags, so an Hermes quota bag is kind of on my list sort of as a default, but it's not the first bag I would go for. It's not the first bag on my list that I would go for. I just wanted to address it first because it's Hermes. Everybody's going to expect me to talk about Hermes. There you go. Hope that's fine. I hope that's okay. Are you gonna come for me in the comments? Maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens. The next bag on my list is from Dior, and I don't own any bags from Dior either. I do own things from Dior, but no bags, so I'm gonna just count that as that. And the bag on my list from Dior is the Dior Caro pouch with chain. And I actually made an entire video about this previously where I kind of highlighted and spotlighted the bag and talked about the pros and cons of it. And I've never been able to try this bag on in person because the Dior boutique near me hasn't opened yet. It's supposed to, but it's been supposed to for several months. I don't know when it's actually coming. But it is a beautiful bag. It is a little bit bigger than the Chanel wallet on chain. I think would suit kind of the same things that the Chanel wallet on chain would do. I already have a Chanel wallet on chain in black with gold hardware, so if I was going to get the Caro pouch, it would be in a pretty color, like that blue. The blue color is so gorgeous. I've been looking at that blue color for a very long time. I think it's beautiful. It's $2,500, so fairly reasonable for luxury, especially from Dior nowadays, and I think it's really nice, so that might be my option. I do like the Lady Dior. In fact, I really gravitate towards the Lady Dior aesthetically, but I don't know if it would be the best bag for me to actually use. Maybe top handle, but I've seen a lot of people talk about the pros and the cons of the Lady Dior, and the cons are ones that I think would, you know, actually bother me, so I don't know. I would have to try that bag on, and because I've never really had the chance to, I don't really know where to go from there. But the bags are beautiful. I really like looking at them. So who knows, maybe that might be in my future at some point. The next bag and brand on this list is Moynat. Now I've talked about Moynat a little bit in the past, but I haven't spotlighted them in any video, but they are a very interesting, very heritage, kind of quiet luxury house. Some of their bags have really unusual shapes, but the bag I'm particularly interested in the Gabrielle in the BB size. Moynat currently has one of these available in this eggplant color, and I think it's really pretty. And I've seen a few reviews on the Gabrielle before in the BB size, and I think it's a really attractive bag. I love the clasp and how easy it looks to be able to operate. Like, it's magnetic, so it always hits the mark in terms of where it needs to be, so you can open it and close it easily. I love that. It seems to be a little bit narrower than the Kelly and a little bit less capacity inside, you know, centimeter for centimeter in terms of what it can hold. But I'm going to be getting a beautiful top handle bag from a house like Moynat. I don't need it to be like a daily carry bag. It might be a special occasions bag, or just like I want to carry something beautiful and only need the essentials. I love that it has a top handle, and I love that it comes with a strap, and I just think it's very attractive. I looked at the Gabrielle before. I've almost pulled the trigger on it a couple of times, but I just haven't yet, and it, you know, that's why it's on this list. So, but it is very attractive, and I think of all the bags I'm naming today, that's probably my top two, or like my first place or second place of what I would actually purchase in the future. Next on this list, number 4, is Fendi, and I'm going to be talking about the Fendi Baguette today in terms of the bag that I don't own that I've considered purchasing, and would maybe in the future do so for the right color combination, style, all that sort of thing. I will say that I am probably the one person in the world who didn't watch Sex and the City. I never did. I grew up without modern media, and so I never watched that show. I have no ties to that show. I have no sentimental connections to the show. I didn't watch it for the fashion. I don't know anything about Sex and the City. In fact, up until recently, I didn't even know the plot of Sex and the City. I learned the plot and I was like, really? That's what it's about? I had no idea. So I don't think of the Fendi Baguette as the Sex and the City bag. I just think of it as a really interesting and like cute bag. And I didn't always think of it as like a cute bag. I used to think of it as like, oh, it's a bag. But because I didn't have any Sex and the City ties, I didn't think that it was particularly special in like, oh, it's connected to this amazing show that has all this fashion history and memorabilia in relation to it. I didn't know that, so make of that what you will. But over the years, I've really seen the Fendi Baguette come out in a lot of really interesting colors and styles and beautiful leathers. And so I've been more and more drawn to it as Fendi has gotten more experimental sometimes with what they put out. Like when Fendi came out with the Sarah Coleman collaboration, the Vertigo collaboration in the fisheye print for the Fendi baguette, like I thought that was a really attractive, really interesting, like unique bag. Very vibrant, so I thought that was super cool. The Fendace collection with the Fendi minis baguettes, like there are a couple of Fendi mini baguettes that I was so close to actually purchasing and just, I didn't because there was other things on my radar at the time. But I thought that those were also very interesting, very beautiful. I like how Fendi does gold a lot, so they do a lot of like gold detail Fendi baguettes, and I think that I'm always drawn to those. And there's a couple of vintage styles or older styles, discontinued styles that I've found on like pre-loved markets that I've been very drawn to. I also like the Selleria baguette style with the outside stitching, like the very prominent stitching. I think those look very nice. I just like the contrast and like the chunky stitches that, you know, appear in the Selleria style, so that's something else I've been drawn to. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, obviously, that's why it's on this list, but it is something that I've had my eye on. And last but certainly not least, the fifth and final brand and bag on this list is from Loewe, and I'm talking about the Loewe Amazona 16 bag. Now Loewe is a brand that I've been interested in for a long time. They make some beautiful leathers and some really beautiful pieces. I like their leather marquetry. I've looked at a lot of their patterns in the past that are just very pretty, very unique. I love how they play with colors and styles and patterns, and especially with how they play with imagery on their bags. I just think that they're very, very beautiful, very beautiful. And I like their leathers. I've had the opportunity to touch a lot of Loewe leathers in the past and over the years, and I've always been pretty impressed by them. I've never been drawn towards the puzzle aesthetically. I don't care for the puzzle bag for me. The design is fine, but it's not something that I've ever been drawn to. It's a very geometric shape, which is not something that I am drawn to necessarily in my bags. And so the puzzle, which was like Loewe's big bag for such a long time, was never one that I cared to own. So it was kind of nothing that I ever really bought. There are a couple of bucket bags that Loewe's come out with that I've been interested in, but I know that I don't use bucket bags very often, so I never really pulled the trigger on those because even though I liked it, I didn't need to own it, you know? But the Amazona 16, I tried this on when I was in Italy last year. It's the first time seeing it in person, and I really liked it from the get-go. Immediately I was drawn to this bag. It's so cute. It's like so little boxy and cute, and I love it in the onyx blue color. I really like the leathers on these bags, and I think in some ways how the Mini Lindy was sort of on my list from Hermes, the Loewe Amazona 16 is very comparable to the Mini Lindy. Now, I will say that one of the reasons why it's a maybe on this list is because Delvaux also makes a very cute, like boxy sort of rectangular crossbody bag called the Cool Box Mini. And well, it's the Cool Box is the line of those bags, and they have a mini, a nano, and a MM size. And I'm particularly interested in the mini size. Lula LV just unboxed a mini size from Delvaux in the vegetal, and it's gorgeous. And so I've been sort of on the fence between getting a Loewe Amazona 16, and I've never owned something from Loewe before, and sort of branching out, or getting the Delvaux Cool Box Mini because it's also like such a cute little boxy shape and I really like it. And I do think I'm more drawn to the handles on the Amazona from Loewe over the Delvaux, but I mean, it's sort of like kind of up in the air on which one I'll pick, or if I don't have to pick either, just because crossbody bags are sometimes harder for me to wear, which is kind of interesting because I just recently unboxed a Louis Vuitton mini soft trunk, which is basically crossbody exclusive. You can wear it on the shoulder, but it's mostly a crossbody bag. And I do like that. It is sometimes a brick, so I have to be careful about how I wear it. So I just have to take that into account too, that sometimes I have to say no to bags that I love because I know that using them would physically cause me pain or, you know, it wouldn't be the best for me. That's why I tend to gravitate towards shoulder bags more often now. But I do think that the Amazona is just so cute. It's so like such a cute little box. I think it's so nice. That's kind of, you know, that's why I like the Mini Lindy. That's why I like the Cool Box Mini as well from Delvaux. So it's a bag that I've gravitated to over and over again. And the Loewe Amazona 16 is I think currently $2,800 for their base, like the base model and the base leather that they use. I believe it's Napa calf skin. Don't quote me on that. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I believe it is. And it, you know, for $2,800, under $3,000 for that bag, I think that's reasonable for what we're talking about here, luxury bags. The Delvaux, I believe, is $3,100, and then of course the Mini Lindy is like $5,000 something nowadays. I think 5 or 6, I think. So Price is obviously a factor too. You can get the Amazona and you can get the Delvaux Cool Box Mini, and you can't really get the Mini Lindy unless you already have an Hermes like relationship anyway. So it's kind of, the Mini Lindy is a lot farther off my list, even though I think that it has the cutest face of those three. But yeah, it's just back to Loewe, the Amazona 16 is one of the bags that I have gravitated to a lot over the last several months, because ever since I saw it in Italy, I've just like, I think about it a lot. I'm like, that was a cool bag. I really like it. I really like it in that onyx blue color. I also liked it in the sandy brown color. I don't remember the name of that color, but it's also very pretty. And just, it's one that I've liked a lot and looked at a lot. So those are the 5 designer bag brands that I don't yet own bags from that I am interested in. Thank you so much from Caleb for tagging me in this video, and thank you to Lisa from Lux and Life in the Middle for creating this tag. I'd love to know what you thought of my picks. Is there something that you think that I should go for on my list? And if so, what is it and why? Or if there's something that you think that it's probably a good thing that I haven't gone for it yet. I'd also love to hear your opinion on that. If you like this video, please do give it a like. It super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more content that helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Now I will say, you ready for your close-up? You ready for your close-up, little kitty?